Hello everybody and welcome back for the weekly VR news, where I keep you up to date with everything going on in the VR industry, prepare you for this week's new releases, and then finally focus in on a few major stories. Today we have yet another extremely exciting episode, as there's plenty of new games releasing this week. I have multiple first impressions of new titles to go over, there's fantastic deals on some older games, many more PlayStation VR 2 games are coming soon, and the Quest 3 has made an appearance. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Bocce Time. Maybe you've tried some table tennis or miniature golf in VR, but have you ever played Bocce Ball? Bocce Time offers up 12 distinct courses, quick match 1v1 games with random online opponents, the ability to create your own private room with up to 8 players, offline AI matches with 3 different difficulty levels, plus unlockable customization and full crossplay. So go ahead and grab your balls, it's Bocce Time. If you want to check out this game, it's currently available from both Steam and the Oculus Store, and there are of course links down in the description. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with some of my VR first impressions. This week I've been playing through Crimen Mercenary Tales, X8, and Humanity. To my surprise, all of these games are actually looking great, but let's start with the lowest on the totem pole, X8. X8 is a free-to-play hero shooter similar to something like Valorant, with gameplay similar to Pavlov or Counter-Strike, where you start around by buying weapons, and then you're either planting or defusing a bomb. Each hero has 4 unique abilities, making this title an exciting change of pace for VR, but as the game currently stands in early access, it feels a bit off balance. It definitely shows some promise, but they need tweaks on the time to kill. Utilizing your skills feels extremely clumsy, there's no feedback when you die, which feels quite awkward, and the game can feel a bit overwhelming to new players. Overall, it feels a bit too early to see where this title's headed, and the community response feels a bit mixed. Since it's free to play though, I recommend you go check it out and find out for yourself. Now moving on to the adventure title, Crimen Mercenary Tales, which is releasing later this week, but there's currently no embargo, so I'm free to talk about it. Honestly, I was expecting very little from this game, but my expectations were way off. For starters, the graphics are actually great on the Quest 2. That cartoony cell shading just works really well, and it does make for a highly immersive world. While the trailer makes the game look kid-friendly with bland combat, I'm happy to report that it's neither. While it might not have physics-based combat, the block and counter system can be challenging and does feel rewarding. There's also blood splatter, decapitation, and some really creepy enemies, so contrary to the lighthearted and even comical storytelling, this game is not intended for kids. I also genuinely enjoyed the storytelling aspect, as you're listening to and then experiencing the tales of different heroes. This narration actually plays out extremely well, and overall I am truly impressed with this title. Similar to our next game, Humanity. Here we have some Lemming-style mind-bending puzzles, but once again this game offered up more than I was expecting. The small nuance of taking on the role of a shepherd dog just adds one additional level of complexity. You occasionally have to embody and travel through the stream of humanity, and then quickly put your commands into place. The level complexity and amount of skills that you have rapidly grows, leading to some serious challenges. I also found myself oddly intrigued with this otherworldly storyline. But let's go ahead and move into new game releases. Last week we got a stealth drop of Rube Goldberg Workshop. This title allows you to build the ultimate Rube Goldberg machine in mixed reality throughout your house. You could set up everything from dominoes to rolling bowling balls, race car tracks, and even some pyrotechnics. Overall, it looks like it could be a really fun time, especially if you were into something like Gadgeteer. Now moving on, we're also getting the release of the stealth-based title Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue. Now I'm yet to personally try out this game, but I know some people will have, and I'm hearing lots of good things. Now in Search and Rescue, you're once again going up against the creepy neighbor, but now you could switch through multiple playable characters to help outsmart him. You'll be facing a wide array of environmental puzzles, all requiring creative solutions, and this is a non-linear experience with multiple different paths to victory. So if you're up for a little bit of suspense and a good old-fashioned B&E on your neighbor, go check out Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue. But if you're looking for even more action, why not become a troll hunter? Set in the 1980s Scandinavia, you'll have to protect the civilian population by hunting down the region's troll population. As you explore the harsh environment, you'll have to study your prey, prepare some traps, and use a combination of DIY devices to either take them down or die trying. Now, if you're not quite sold on the premise of Troll Hunter just yet, there is a free demo available up on Steam that you can go check out. And on the topic of free, one of my favorite games is coming to the Quest this week. The trading card game Cards and Tankards will finally be available from the official Meta store. Now, I personally never played games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, but somehow I fell in love with this title. Building up your deck and creating new strategies feels extremely rewarding, and while the game is all about competition, I didn't really mind losing at times, as the game has a truly friendly community. It's free to play, so even if you're not not into trading card games, I recommend you at least go check it out. I have a fairly broad explanation and tutorial for the game up, so I'll post a link to that if you guys want to check it out. And our final new release of this week is Everslaught Invasion. This is a 3-person co-op horde mode title with a unique Egyptian theme and lots of grotesque creatures. There's a large array of weapons to unlock. There's 3 separate classes to level up, each with their own unique pros and cons, and there's a unique grappling hook mechanic that can be used for both combat or traversing the map. Now, this game is not a Quest release of the Everslaught version available on PC. It's a completely different spin-off title, and even though I do think this game is fun, I do not like the direction they went, and I will have a full review up when the game releases later this week. Now, that covers all of the new releases, but there are a few more game stories to go over. First up, VR's version of Rocket League, Nock, will be coming to the PlayStation VR 2 in the near future. The game also has a free upcoming season pass that'll include 30 new skins. Now, Nock isn't exactly Rocket League, and its closest competition is Ultimax, but instead of using rocket hands, you'll be using a bow with different power-ups. Overall, it's a really unique title that's definitely worth checking out. Now, if you're a fan of both Gym Class and the NBA, I'm happy to report that there's now an NBA bundle available. Now, this is a paid DLC, but it does include 2 replica NBA courts, a team-branded basketball, and 2 sets of team-branded apparel. So if you want to support your team or play in a more realistic court, go check out this DLC. Now, if you're looking to pick up some VR games on sale, there's 2 bundle deals I highly recommend you check out. The first is the Bethesda Collection from Fanatical. For $25, you get Skyrim VR, Fallout 4 VR, Doom VFR, and Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. While Cyberpilot is a little bit of a throwaway here, as it's only about 90 minutes of mediocre gameplay, this is still an extremely great value bundle. The majority of the time, both Skyrim VR and Fallout 4 sell for $60 each. While they do occasionally drop down to something like $15, that still definitely doesn't match this deal, and this is an absolutely insane bang for your buck. Now, if you happen to be a Quest gamer, Fanatical also has a build your own Quest bundle deal. The more games you buy, the cheaper the price, and it ranges from 2 for $22 all the way to 10 for $95. So $9.50 per game is a pretty good deal, and there's some excellent titles to choose from like Swarm, Creed Rise to Glory, Table of Tales, Seirento, Yuki, Iron Guard, Gadgeteer, and Jupitergrad. Now, those are just my personal favorites, but there's 15 more titles here to choose from. Now, in more good gaming news, PlayStation CEO recently stated that many more PlayStation VR 2 games are coming this year and into the foreseeable future. Now, I'm not sure how this coincides with the Sony showcase that we're getting in a few days, as this statement could be a little bit of a tease, or it might be some reassurance to the VR community if the showcase doesn't feature anything VR. Either way, I'm looking forward to see what's coming. And that covers today's game news, so let's move on to some hardware and software updates. As Meta continues to crap on everything PCVR, they've recently discontinued the Oculus Home environment. Now, if you've used either a Rift headset or the Quest with Link, you should be aware of the Oculus Home. It's the default environment that loads up that you can hang out in and customize to your preference. Well, it's now officially been discontinued, and while I personally don't care because I really never use this feature, it just makes me wonder how far Meta is going to go with deprecating PC features. Now, I'm sure if they could do it without getting a backlash, they would cancel Quest Link tomorrow. Meta has made it very clear that standalone is the future, so I hope this isn't the beginning of the end when it comes to PC support, but I do believe that day will eventually come. But moving on to something fairly unique and quite new, we have the Spacetop AR Laptop. They include a modified version of the Nreal AR glasses attached to what appears to be the bottom half of the laptop. The main selling point here is you're traveling with an extra light laptop plus the ability to have infinite screens. Now, I do personally have a pair of Nreal AR glasses, and the clarity is high enough to read text and to work with other productivity applications, but I'm not really sure how this will work in practice. And that laptop dock appears to be completely underpowered, as it only features a Snapdragon 865. So with a $2,000 price tag, this feels a bit dead on arrival, but I could see devices like this becoming much more common in the future. But finally, let's move into some Quest updates. Version 54 is coming, and it will allow you to add your own home custom skyboxes. So if you're into the whole home customization scene, you'll soon have a lot more options for your Quest. Additionally, the Touch Pro controllers are getting a much needed update. Currently, it's quite common for these controllers to appear in the wrong position in your virtual world. They'll be tracking just fine, but they're offset maybe 6 inches or more from where your hands actually are. Eventually, they do snap back into place, but this can be quite annoying, as it appears to happen every time tracking starts for the first time, or gets interrupted for one reason or another. And the final update includes pop-up notifications for applications like Messenger, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, if you're someone who lives in your Quest device, these are cool upgrades, but for others who just want a game or don't own Touch Pro controllers, there's not much here for us. but something that I'm sure does interest all of us is the sudden appearance of Quest 3 or new Quest in the supported platforms. That's right, multiple people have reported that Quest 3 is showing up in the list of available platforms. Now, is this just an accident on Meta's part, or is this a little hype builder tease before their gaming showcase on June 1st? But unfortunately, you guys are just gonna have to wait and see. Now, if you're not interested in watching the entire showcase, I will immediately have a recap up. It will streamline everything that was announced within 2 minutes, and then if there's a game or topic you're interested in, you could just use a timestamp to jump to it. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and let me know down in the comments what you guys are expecting to see from that showcase.
And that was today's video, brought to you by my dad, Mateo311. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here,
Consider subscribing.
consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing. We'll see you guys on next time.
We'll see you guys on next time.